So the story starts at the end of what I'm assuming was like a 2-season long coming-of-age story where the party, they group together, they discover each other, they go through a lot of quests, trials and tribulations, they fight like a mini-boss and then an actual boss, and now they're at the Demon Lord's castle. So let's meet the characters. We've got Philly, the hero, Atty, the priest, who's also like a wizard, the witch, Keen, the knight, and Atty is clearly in love with Philly. They've known each other since they were kids, and he's like, before the battle, he's like, after this battle, there's something I need to tell you! And then the witch is like, that's a death flag. And Atty's like, I'll listen to you once we've done this, don't you worry. And they go in, the witch and Keen are just eliminated instantly, we don't even see it. Atty's about to die, and the Demon Lord's like to Philly, give me your body and I'll let them live. And then Atty's like, oh my god, she's gonna be in his harem. And then the Demon Lord's like, whoa, 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 who said anything about that? Whoa, whoa, let's be reasonable here. That's not what I want. I want to swap bodies with you. And then Atty's like, no, don't do it, Philly. Take my body instead. And the Demon Lord is so sassy. It's amazing. He looks at him, he's like, as appealing as your dying corpse is, it's not for me. So before Philly can like even hint at like convincing Atty to switch bodies, the Demon Lord switches bodies with him. And then when Atty wakes up, the Demon Lord's like, hey, I'm in the body now, you gotta look after me. And then Atty hates this, but he still looks after the Demon Lord. As soon as like Atty wakes up and they leave the castle, the Demon Lord is just like, not even trying to be a hater, but Atty hates everything they're doing. He's sat with his legs wide open in Philly's... and he fell over. He's sat with his legs... you can't even see what I'm doing, so it doesn't matter. He's sat with his legs wide open, and Atty's like, don't sit like that! He's also dressed super sloppy, and he's like, Philly would never dress like that, and he's like, oh, keep fanning me, human. he's just loving his time. Atty hates it. He's like fanning the Demon Lord. He's like, you gotta stop this! You're being too much! And he's like, meh. Man, this is just who I am. So what they've got to do now is they've got Keen and the witch in coffins, and they've been like, a spell's been put on them so they can be resurrected later, and they've got to go back to the capital to do it. But Atty wants to take them there. The Demon Lord does not care. He's like, this isn't what I signed up for. I'm on vacation. I don't care about these. I don't even know these two. They just burst into my castle and tried to kill me. Eventually, Atty's like, oh, you do realise there's going to be a festival in the capital soon? And the Demon Lord's like, festival? I don't want to see it. I don't want to go sightseeing either, but I'll come to the capital. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? So they leave the forest. They get caught by a giant spider that was scaring all the other demons away. They were like, where are all the demons? And then this spider catches them, and they're like, that's where they were. And the Demon Lord is somehow terrified of spiders. So he just obliterates most of the forest to get rid of this spider. Then passes out when he's like, human bodies have pathetic mana pools. Anyway, they leave the forest, and they get to like this village, and there's no one in the village, and it's weird. They're like, there should be way more people here. And then a pig comes out of nowhere and the Demon Lord kills it dead. Atty brings it back to life, and then they figure out the pig's curse. So they like sort of uncurse it, because in this world, curses, you can only really remove them. 1, if you're super powerful, and 2, if you're like middling power and you know who the person was, why they were cursed, when it happened, and why. And then you can undo it. So Atty tries his best, but he only like uncurses the head. So now it's like a pig boy. It's a piglet body with a boy's head, and he explains what happened. Basically, he let some demons into the church, and they turned everyone into pigs, and they let him go because he let them in the church. They're like, we'll be nice to you. So they go to he leads them to the church, and he's like, please save the village! The Demon Lord's like, I don't want to. But then the boy starts crying, he's like, fine, I will help. So yeah, the boy pig leads them to the church, and he's like, this is where they are, look. Atty wants to like charge out and attack the demons, but the Demon Lord's like, no, don't be ridiculous. We gotta wait for an opening, or we can kill all the piglets. And then basically the wolves slightly insult the Demon Lord. They're like, yeah, he's kind of a loner, he's a bit of a loser, and then he just comes out hiding, he's like, apologise! And they're like, what are you doing, human? He's like, apologise! And they don't apologise. So he uses a spell to wipe them out, and Atty has to like put a force field around all the piglets so they don't get wiped out by the Demon Lord's spell. The demons are destroyed, the Demon Lord passes out again because they've used up all their mana in the body again. Everyone congratulates them, they're like, oh, thank you so much, you saved us. The boy gives the Demon Lord a hug, thinking it's a human, and then they leave. Before we go any further, if you've made it this far into the video, then subscribe, because it helps you, it helps me, and it's free. Atty breaks this like teleport thing that brings them back to the capital, and oh my god, the king is horrible to Philly. Not in like a traditional horrible way, but like just constant flirting with her, making her feel so uncomfortable. I don't know how she dealt with it. Well, you find out later how she dealt with it. Yeah, but he's flirting with her, and he has no idea it's the Demon Lord, and he's like, oh, you could join the royal harem, and the Demon Lord's like, I could wipe you off the face of the earth with a thought, boy. He also laughs at them for failing to kill the Demon Lord. Like, you guys sucked. I bet you guys feel pretty embarrassed. And they're like, oh, Yeah, we do. The witch gets resurrected in the capital, because that's the only place you can do it. And she is really, really chatty. Non-stop just talking about everything. She's constantly, like, criticising Philly, because she's like, you're a little bit different. What changed? What's changed? Atty and the Demon Lord, like, we cannot let her know that we switch bodies, or it's going to be super, super awkward. So they try and hide it, and when they go to bed that night, basically, the witch is going to have her own room, and Atty and the Demon Lord are going to have their room together, but the witch is like, whoa, 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 a boy-girl sleepover, no, 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 not on my watch! So she's like, Atty will be sleeping with me tonight, and the Demon Lord's like, please help me. Please help me. They get hammered, and the Demon Lord's like, God damn, didn't know I could get hammered in a human body. And the next day they're sent on a quest, and they're both blasted in the morning. They are so hungover. Atty's having to drag both of them to, like, this new village where there's, like, a monster. Basically, the king sent them here. He offered Philly a chance to join the royal harem, but the Demon Lord didn't want to. But he sent them here because he sent a load of royal knights there, and they've all gone missing. And so they get to the village, and the villagers are like, alright, there's this huge cave. It was sealed up. Some hoodlums, some local youths broke it, and we don't know what's down there. They sealed this monster down there hundreds of years ago, and now they've completely forgotten what's in there. No one wrote it down. No one, like, drew a picture. It's just like, no one told anyone. They just sealed it away, and it's down there now. They don't know what it is. So they go down there. Atty falls down the steps, and when he, like, comes to, Philly's back in her old body. And then we get a clip of reality, and it's the witch and the Demon Lord looking at him like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? And then basically he gets up and just starts zombie walking. Basically there's a giant mushroom down there controlling him, and it's controlling everyone else who went down there. And basically when the mushroom figures out that the Demon Lord and the witch want to kill it, it sends these people that it controls to kill them. So the witch is like, Philly, you got this, go kill them. Not kill them, but wound them. And she gives them all a huge defense buff, so Philly can go as hard as she likes. And she gives Philly an agility buff, which the Demon Lord has no idea how to use. As soon as he uses it, he just shoots up in the sky. And he's up there, he's like, oh, well, this is not what I intended. And then he comes back down, he knocks them all out, and then once they're all knocked out, the witch puts a sleeping spell on them. And then they're like, we need to destroy this mushroom in one go. And the witch is like, I do not have enough power to do that. So the Demon Lord is just like, watch this. Destroys it all in one go and then passes out. With the mushroom destroyed, the people, they're now free from its control and they can go about their day. And later on, the witch is talking to Atty, and she's like, what the hell was that? That's not possible! And then, because Atty was, like, unconscious, he has no idea what was going on, but he knows the Demon Lord was doing some stuff that he shouldn't have been doing. And he was basically like, maybe she was just feeling herself. And the witch was like, that's not a spell you can cast by just being confident. And then he's like, you're just exaggerating things. You know how you get. And then he's like to the Demon Lord, never use magic again. You're gonna blow our cover. To one of them, the villagers like, oh, we'll throw a huge feast in your honor, it'll be great. And the Demon Lord is, he wants to do his food tour, his global human food tour. And he's like, oh, this is gonna be brilliant, we'll have a feast. And then one of the king's royal guards arrives, and he's like, I have a message for you from the king. And the message is, there's been a coup in the Demon Lord's realm, come back right now. Obviously, this freaks Atty and the Demon Lord out, because the Demon Lord's like, oh my god, my entire kingdom's gone. And Atty's like, oh my god, what if they killed Philly? So they come back, and the king's like, welcome back, well done on your mission, I hope you're safe, Philly, I was always thinking about you, heart goes out to you. And then they're like, what's the coup? And he's like, I have no idea. We just got word about it, it's just rumours at this point, but I thought I'd call you back anyway. And they're like, oh, thanks, pal. After this, the Demon Lord does like a magical Skype call with Philly, and they talk, and they're like, what the hell was this coup? And they're like, yeah, it was just a bar fight. And they're like, oh! And basically create this like Skype call, use so much magic, the Demon Lord just passes out. And Atty and Philly gets a conversation together, and Philly's like, I'm gonna do my best to find a way to kill the Demon Lord. We can use this to our advantage. Atty's like, well, don't do anything stupid. I don't want you getting hurt or anything. And she's like, don't worry, I'll be fine. Oh, the next day the knight gets resurrected, and he's just naked for some reason when they resurrect him. I don't know why they did that. I don't know who does the resurrection, but they're clearly weirdos. Anyway, he gets resurrected and sprints out the building straight away. He's just gone. He's like, I'm never doing this again. I died. I'm done. So the group find him. They find him hiding in a stable. He's still naked, and then like they're like, oh hi, and he just runs out again naked, straight through a window. Anyway, gets arrested for public nudity and thrown in prison, where he hears about a plot to like break out the prison. He's like, oh, that's not good. Anyway, the Demon Lord doesn't really care about saving their friend. He's like, I kind of want to see this festival, that's what I'm here for. Anyway, a golem appears, and the Demon Lord's like, oh my god, you guys use these at festivals, that's crazy, I didn't know you guys were so strong. And then Atty and the witch are like, that's not for the festival, that shouldn't be here. So yeah, they chase the golem to the prison. The knight has to man up and defeat it. He gets given his helmet, his magical helmet, and that gives him powers. That makes him confident again. He stops the prisoners from escaping, and he defeats the golem. And then he apologizes to the group for running away, and the Demon Lord's like, it's fine. And Atty and the witch are like, don't worry, this is like the 3rd time it's happened. The Demon Lord's like, what? 3 times? And then he starts like talking about how scary the Demon Lord was and how powerful he was, and the Demon Lord's like, I'm that guy. That's me. And the witch is like, he's hella sexy too, and the Demon Lord's like, he's less appealing with that one. And then the witch is like, I want his scales and his hair so I can study him. And he's like, that's creepy. Anyway, after doing this, they try some food and stuff in the festival. They're having a good time. Till the king's messenger arrives again! And basically he's like, oh, someone actually escaped the prison. I need you to go get them. They don't want to do it, but it's at the beach. And the Demon Lord's never been to a beach before. So he's like, it'll be fun. So they go to the beach. They find the prisoner basically straight away. But he's like really powerful. And basically they can't catch him. And then basically they get bored, sit down, have a meal with him. And he's like, if you help me, I'll help you. And they're like, well, that's a fair deal. We win, you win. So anyway, what he needs help with is finding a ghost ship and sinking it. The knight is absolutely terrified of ghosts. And it becomes a big deal when they're on the boat. He's like, he's just freaking out. They get to the ship. Basically, they get on board. There's a load of, like, weak spirits. And basically, the convict... I'm going to keep calling him the prisoner because I forgot his name. Basically, Atty uses his magical powers to send the spirits back. Because he's given his powers from God. He can make these undead souls go to heaven. Which is, like, something only people of God can do. And the prisoner also can do this. And Atty's like, wait a minute, that's not right. You were in prison. You committed a sin. God should not be talking to you. And he's like, well, maybe God just loves me especially. And he kind of does. God kind of does. And doesn't. He didn't love him for a bit, but he loves him now. Anyway, they go below deck, and the prisoner knows so much about the ship. He knows that it was crashed into a reef on purpose. He knows that it was sunk on purpose. He knows the people on board. Basically, he knows who everyone is. And eventually, like, the group talks to him, but like, alright, how do you know so many people? And he's like, well, I just do. And then the knight figures out that he was a hero once. Because basically, every 7 years, a new hero is made by God. And they're sent to attack the Demon Lord's realm. And this group was a hero's party. And they're like, the knight's like, I knew your name from somewhere. I knew something was off. And he basically explains that this entire thing is corrupt. Basically, once you become the hero, they imbue this chalice into you. And it possesses you. You become like what the people of the world think is a hero. And your own personality is suppressed, and that is who you are now. You are the hero. You have to defeat the Demon Lord. It's all you can think about. And that happened to him. And then he nearly died in this shipwreck. And basically the chalice left him. And then after it left him, he was saved from dying. And then he's like, oh my god, I'm my old self again. The chalice was forced upon him. He didn't even want it. He was kind of nonchalant about everything, even though he knew he was the hero. But he got held down and it was put inside of him and it possessed him. And he hates them now. He hates that this happened to him. And he also knows they know where the chalice is, and they know where the hero is. So when the Demon Lord returned in Philly's body to the capital, they knew she was back, but they also knew the chalice was still in the Demon Lord's realm in Philly's soul. So they were like, well, wait a minute, something's not right here. But they couldn't say anything because it's a secret, because if people found out that the hero was forced to do this, they'd hate it. And this is also the first time in the story where I think the writer thought of something. He has, or she, I don't actually know who wrote it. They definitely have no idea where this story's going. They're just making it up as they go along, because this was never mentioned previously. It's just something they brought up. And this happens I think twice more or once more in the story, where they're just making stuff up as they go along. They're like, oh, this will sound cool, so they do it, and then they're like, they're kind of there's a lot that could have been built up to this and it would have been a much cooler moment, but you know. I think it's their first time writing a manga, so we can forgive them. I honestly think this manga will be an anime sometime. I love this manga. It's such a good manga, but you know, there's 2 little mistakes and that's it. Anyway, he reveals to them what happened, and then they're like, oh, so that happened to Philly, and then they're like, Philly, what's wrong? And then they're like, and they're like, you haven't been acting very heroic lately. And they're like, and then the Demon Lord grabs Atty. He's like, figure something out. It was your idea to keep this a secret. I wanted to tell them the truth. Figure something out. So he just tells them the truth. He's like, yeah, they exchange bodies. They're going to be swapped like this for a year. The prisoner's like, you do realise the hero will do anything to defeat the Demon Lord. And they're like, that's a bit strange. That's because they're here. So what's Philly doing in the Demon Lord's realm? And basically, Philly has been doing a lot. She tried to slit her own throat. She tried to jump off the... Well, she didn't try to slit it. She did slit it, but it healed instantly. She jumped off the tallest building she could, and everyone was like, can you stop playing around? She tried to drown herself in the hot tub, and the staff at the castle were like, please, you've been down there an hour, please get out. And she just can't kill herself. Yeah, so they reveal the truth. They're kind of mad about it, and they're also kind of terrified that the Demon Lord's just in front of them. They're like, oh, the guy who effortlessly killed us is stood in front of us. And then basically they promise to help once they sink the ship. Well, they don't actually sink the ship. They banish the spirits, they get back on their own boat, and then they're like, alright, we can sink the ship now, and the Demon Lord just obliterates it. But now they're going to go back to the Demon Lord's realm because they're worried about Philly and what she's up to. And she was up to no good, like, they had a reason to be worried. But anyway, now for some reason the Royal Guards are after them, because basically, now they've got this whole chalice thing, like, the heroes thing. They know that the chalice is in the Demon Lord's realm, but Philly came home, so they're like, something's weird here. Basically, that's now a plot, because we know about it and the author thought about it. So the Royal Guards are now after them, and they're looking around, like, the coastal town for them where they just were, so they've got to book it. And basically, like, the entire, like, human realm is after them. Well, not all of it, but, like, the military's after them. They have to hide in the woods, and, like, wizards are throwing spells at them, and then Atty wants to fire something back, but the prisoner and the Demon Lord are like, dude, they don't know we're here, they're firing randomly, like, relax. And then, like, a royal messenger comes in, the same royal messenger who's been bothering them this entire time. They're like, oh god, we're caught, and he's like, whoa, hold up, I'm here for you. And he shouts to the people firing magic at them. He's like, they're not here, there's no one here. I saw their tracks on the road, follow the road. So they all leave and follow the road. And he's like, now that we're in peace. He's like, the king knows about the chalice thing. Or he knows a little bit about it. He knows there's something off with the heroes. And he's like, he wants to help Philly specifically. Because he has a huge crush on her. The thing they broke earlier to return to the capital, he gave them a better version. So they can teleport anywhere they've been before. He's like, use this. It's from the king. He loves you, Philly. Maybe you'll fall for him. Bye. So he leaves to go find them, or not find them, but distract, like, the Royal Guard and be like, they went this way, I'm sure they went this way, I saw them. They break the thing and go to the same village they were at earlier, and they're there, and there's so many demons there. They're like, oh god, they came back. So they go into the church where all the people are hiding, and the boy's there. He's like, oh, you're here, welcome back. And then basically they're like, the Demon Lord was here. Normally demons can't open church doors because there's a holy seal. But because the boy opened the door to the demons early, they were able to get in. So they didn't make the mistake this time. And the demons outside are actually complaining because they've attacked the door physically with magic and they just can't make it budge. But the Demon Lord, because it's the Demon Lord's body, but a human soul in it, they could open the door, and they closed it behind them to make sure no one could get in. And they found this secret church passageway, and they went into it. And then the people in the church, like, they went this way, here it is. So now the party go down there. Atty goes charging down there, and they're trying to slow Atty down, but he's zooming to get to this thing. And then they find the Demon Lord. When they find Philly, she is, like, in front of this huge egg thing. And then we get a little bit of lore dump. Basically, there's been Demon Lords before. That was already known. Everybody knows there's been multiple Demon Lords. That's just a thing. And the previous Demon Lord got sealed away in this egg and then hidden from the demons. So they had no idea where they were, but they were never killed. So that was like a huge thing in the Demon realm. But they weren't like present, so they made a new Demon Lord, which is the one we've got now. But basically, that's what the bar fight earlier, that was actually a coup. That was like a proper coup they tried. And Philly spoke to them in prison. They were like, what are you here for? To gloat? Oh, the old Demon Lord would have killed you. And Philly's like, really? The old Demon Lord could have killed me? Where is this old Demon Lord? And they were like, oh, no one knows. And they're like, So basically, Philly cut a deal with them that they'd help them find the old Demon Lord. And they thought they were tricking Philly. They were like, this idiot, the old Demon Lord would destroy you. And Philly's like, that's what I want! But you can't say that, obviously, because then they'd think it's weird. So anyway, they come to this egg. Philly's trying to, like, open it. And Atty's like, please come back. Like, don't do this. You're the hero. If you, like, awaken this old Demon Lord to kill the new one, are you not an idiot? Because the old Demon Lord was way worse than the current one. The old one was constantly at war with humans, but this new one, the one who, like, is exchanged bodies, he's not declared war on humans for 200 years, and that's how long he's been a Demon Lord. There's been no wars. He doesn't want war with humans, he just wants to, like, live in peace. But because of, like, the chalice in the heroes, they can only think about defeating the Demon Lord by any means necessary, even if it means resurrecting an old Demon Lord. They don't really think it all the way through, which is, like, part of the problem with, like, mindless machines, which is what Philly is and all the heroes are once the chalice is put in them. Atti's like, please stop, and, like, hugs Philly, and Philly just launches him. He's like, no, don't get in my way. And basically, they're like, can you, like, undo the spell and swap souls back with them? And the Demon Lord's like, yeah, but in this body it will take a while. So they hold her off for as long as they can, and then eventually he gets the spell done. But it's too late. The old Demon Lord has awoken. And the first thing it does is kill her. And she's like, what the hell? I resurrected you! And the demon's like, eat a flying dick, human. This Demon Lord hates humans. He hated them before he was sealed. And now he got sealed away by a human. The humiliation and just sitting in an egg for 200 years has made them just loathe everything about humans. So yeah, now that Philly's dead, the chalice tries to come out of her. And it does actually come out, but the prisoner guy catches it and he's like, you're staying with me. And basically, the old Demon Lord flies away back to the Demon Lord castle. And the current Demon Lord could have chased after them, but they opted not to, because they wanted to stay and help Philly in their party. So using the magical chalice, they resurrect Philly, but it uses so much of the chalice's mana that it breaks and shatters into pieces. But the prisoner keeps it in a bag. He's like, you'll be useful for later. So basically, Philly has to stay behind to recover, because she just died. And so the prisoner stays with her, and the Demon Lord, Atti, the Witch, and the Knight all go back to the Demon Lord's realm to stop the new Demon Lord. On the way back to the castle, they meet some demons who have, like, been kicked out of the castle, and the Demon Lord's like, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, the new Demon Lord came back, and he kicked us out! He just kicked all of us out in our uniforms! And they're like, oh, well, that sucks. And then basically they're like, oh my god, they're humans. And then the humans, like Atti and the Witch, speak, and they're like, you guys can talk? We didn't know you guys could talk! And then they're like, well, we thought you demons were all, like, uncaring monsters. And they're like, that's hurtful. That's rude. Anyway, the Demon Lord gives them a gold button from his uniform. He's like, take this. It'll keep you safe. You can spend it to, like, get shelter or whatever. I'll come find you when this is all done. Anyway, so he turns into his dragon form, and the others hop on his back, and he flies towards the castle. And he's like, I've never carried people before. This is crazy. And basically, the castle's defense is activated, and he's super proud of it. He's like, yeah, I had those installed. I'm a pretty big genius myself. I built the castle, and then the castle defenses start shooting at him. He's like, oh god, that was not part of the plan. So he doesn't get shot down, but he dodges an attack, and as he flips over, all of them fall off, and then he's like, oh shoot, I forgot I had them on my back. The witch casts a levitation spell which saves them, and then they're like, right, we can't fly there, so we're gonna have to walk. On their walk, they get attacked by a griffin. The witch doesn't want to kill it. She says it's because losing a griffin will make the world a worse place, and then she rephrases it, and she's like, oh, it could knock us off the mountain if it dies and hits us, and the Demon Lord's like, you let your inner thoughts out first. But they don't kill it, they knock the rider off, and the griffin flies away. They then cut the rider's head off, and it turns out it's a Doulahan, and the knight's brother was killed by a Doulahan. So he's like having some PTSD, but he manages to kill it, and he's like, oh, I feel so much better now. But his helmet was damaged. He got knocked off, and they're like, oh my god, will you be able to fight without your helmet? And he's like, it was never magical. His brother lied to me. He's like, when you put this on, you'll become the person you look up to most. And he looked up to his brother most, and his brother was brave, heroic, smart, and that's what, like, the knight becomes when he puts the helmet on. But he's like, I've known for a while it was fake. I just needed a reason to, like, not wear it again. Anyway, the Demon Lord starts talking about the old Demon Lord a bit, and they're like, you kind of seem to know this person a lot. You know a lot about them. Because when Philly resurrected the old Demon Lord, like, he spoke to the current Demon Lord. He's like, oh, siding with humans again, I see. Typical. And then he flew away. And the party's like, why did they say again? Did you two know each other? And then the Demon Lord's like, yeah, we knew each other. Basically, in the Demon Realm, there used to be this huge civil war going on, and the current Demon Lord was just in his castle. He wasn't the Demon Lord then, he was a weak demon, just reading about magic, because he liked it. He was in a castle, well, not a castle, it was just a tower, he was reading about his magic, and he was friends with the old Demon Lord, and they kept coming to him being like, please join my army, you can have whatever position you want, just join me, you'll be able to use the magic instead of just read about it. And then he's like, I don't want to join your army. And the Demon Lord keeps coming back. Well, they're not the Demon Lord either at the moment, but they're trying to be. They keep coming back, asking, please join, please join. And then, like, later on when they come back injured, the Demon Lord's like, oh my god, stop attacking humans, you don't know what you're doing. They're like, you're not in my army, you can't say anything, you're siding with the humans, go to prison. Eventually, he does join their side, purely because they want the demon civil war to end. As soon as the civil war's over, Vlasha becomes the new Demon Lord. Vlasha's this one. I'm gonna start calling them by their name, because saying the Demon Lord and the other Demon Lord and Demon Lord is getting a bit confusing. Vlasha's like the Demon Lord now, and they're like, alright, come live in the castle with me. And then the Demon Lord's like, no, I don't want to. And Vlasha's like, please, you can, surely studying magic isn't gonna, you know, it doesn't matter where you study it, you can study it in the castle. And he's like, I like my tower. And they're like, they found some books underground that were hidden away, and he's like, I suppose coming to the castle for a bit won't hurt. So he comes to the castle and starts studying. Vlasha keeps attacking the human realm and he's like, please stop doing that. They're way stronger than you think. Don't underestimate them. You know nothing about them. The Demon Lord also knew nothing about them, but he told Vlasha he doesn't know enough about them. After the Demon Lord told Vlasha that, they got sealed away by the hero. And he became the new Demon Lord because there was really no one in his way. He was the most powerful, so he just stepped into that position because he was like, I don't want another civil war. I guess I'll become the Demon Lord. They get to like the entrance of the throne room and the party is like, Demon Lord. And he's like, yeah, what's up? And they're like, why don't you have one? And he's like, have what? And they're like, a name. He's like, when you become Demon Lord, you throw your name away and you're the Demon Lord. I haven't had a name for 200 years. And they're like, it's getting weird calling you the Demon Lord. Can we know your name? He's like, alright, you can know my name, but don't wear it out. My name is Rhoda. And they wear it out straight away. Like, they all just start using it non-stop. Anyway, they walk into the throne room. Vlasha's like, why are there humans in my realm? I did not invite you. And Rhoda's like, they're with me. Anyway, the two start fighting. Vlasha wants nothing to do with the humans, but they keep getting in the way. Like, the witch and Atty keep shooting at them. And they're like, oh my god, please let the Demon Lords fight. Rhoda's like, no, I want them here. Basically, when they're fighting, like, the two of them start talking, and Rhoda uses this super powerful spell on Vlasha. It creates this huge inferno, and then there's this shadowy figure in the fire that comes walking out and calls Rhoda by his name. Which would have been a huge, like, weird thing, like, oh, they know their name, blah, blah, blah. It's the first time we've heard his name, if it didn't happen the chapter before. So, like, I feel if the author waited one chapter, this could have been a bigger moment, and the party would have been like, who's Rhoda? And the Demon Lord would have been like, that's me. That's my name. And they would have been like, well, that's how I feel it would have went. But, you know, that's just me. Vlasha starts using forbidden spells, which Rhoda actually discovered. The books underneath the castle that Vlasha was talking about earlier. Rhoda, like, read them and, like, analysed them and everything, wrote stuff down, and Vlasha's now using these forbidden spells. And he uses them to summon all the previous Demon Lords under the castle, because that's where they get buried once they die. And Atty has to nearly ascend to heaven to defeat all of them, and he gets so close that he actually uses too much power. He, like, takes too much holy power and nearly dies. Philly catches him, because she woke up, like, a day after they left, she woke up from her slumber, and they chased after them, blah, because once she woke up without the chalice, she remembered everything, she knew what was up, she's like, we gotta save them. So she arrived, she kisses Atty. It was a nice moment. I thought it was a dream. I was like, this has happened before, but it was real, and then Atty nearly dies. He's like, I've achieved everything I wanted. And the prisoner's like, don't you dare ascend, because of a kiss. So they lock in, they defeat all the other well, they're not all of them, but they start defeating the Demon Lords. Rhoda's put in a corner by Vlasha, and Rhoda's like, you're using more than one forbidden spell, aren't you? And Vlasha's like, what if I am? He gets saved by the party, and then they're like, Atty's like, what? Oh my god, with me and the prisoner here, we can put so many shield spells up. Why don't you use all your power? And he's like, it would be good to cut loose. And then he just obliterates an entire wing of the castle. He casts one spell, and it's a spell humans have been using the entire time, throughout the entire manga. He's used it in Philly's body, other humans have used it, Atty's used it, the witch has used it, and it's not that powerful, but in the Demon Lord's body, he wiped out so much. Like, you see the wing blow apart. And that's where it ends. We're on a cliffhanger. I want to know what's next. I really want to know what's next. And we're going to have to wait till August 16th to find out what happens next. What I want to happen is the Vlasha to, like, come over to their side. No, I don't. No, I don't want that at all. I don't know what I want. I don't know. I want this to, like, continue forever. I honestly fully believe this manga will be an anime someday. Mark my words. But clip this, put it in a library for, like, 5 years' time, come back, it'll be an anime. Maybe not 5 years. I don't know how long this usually takes, but it will be an anime one day. Highly recommend that you read this. It's so good. And that's all I have to say for it. If this video felt a bit off, it's because I didn't have a script, and this is the first time I've done that in 2 years, but hopefully it went well. I thought I'd try an off-the-cuff thing. I hope it went well. I've been a bit all over the place because I didn't have a script. I should have had guidelines, like just bullet points to go down. Maybe I'll do that next time. I don't know. Thank you all so much for watching. I won't take up any more of your time. I hope if you made it this far, you gotta subscribe, because what the hell are you doing? Thank you so much for watching. Love you all. Subscribe. Bye.